When we read Shakespeare's sonnets, we are not just reading simple love poems. We are entering a world built around a single powerful idea. Each sonnet takes one central metaphor, or what we call a conceit, and explores it from every angle. It's kind of like watching a sculptor take a block of stone and slowly reveal the figure hidden inside. Shakespeare does this with words. He might compare his love to a season, a legal battle, or a journey. This one idea becomes the foundation for everything he wants to say. The entire poem is a deep dive into that single comparison, showing us how complex and rich his feelings truly are. This technique is what makes the sonnet so clever and engaging. Shakespeare doesn't just say, "I miss you." Instead, he creates a whole scenario to express that feeling. For example, he might pretend he's a ship lost at sea, and his beloved is the guiding star that brings him home. By using this central metaphor, he can explore different parts of his emotions. He can talk about the fear of being lost, the hope of being found, and the steadfast nature of his love. This method allows him to build a detailed and emotional picture, making his feelings more tangible and relatable to us even centuries later. Think of it as a creative game he plays with himself. He sets a rule. Everything in these 14 lines must relate to this one chosen image. This constraint doesn't limit him, it actually makes him more creative. He has to find new ways to connect his love to the metaphor he has selected. This process forces him to think deeply about his own heart and the nature of his devotion. The result is a collection of poems that are not just beautiful, but also incredibly intelligent. They are puzzles of emotion, and the central conceit is the key that unlocks their meaning, revealing the sincerity of the man behind the words. In his early sonnets, these metaphors often revolve around themes of beauty, time, and separation. We can imagine a young Shakespeare far from his home and his wife Anne Hathaway using these poems as a way to stay connected. The conceits are his tools for bridging the distance. He isn't just writing about abstract ideas, he is writing about his real-life situation. The poems become a testament to his dedication, a way of proving that even though he is physically away, his mind and heart remain with the one he loves. The central metaphor is the vessel that carries his devotion across the miles. Shakespeare's sonnets are more than just pretty words built around a metaphor. They are miniature arguments. Each poem follows a logical path. He starts by presenting his main idea in the first part of the sonnet, usually the first 8 lines, known as the octet. Here he establishes the problem or the central comparison. He might describe how time is a cruel destroyer, or how his absence from his beloved feels like a harsh winter. He spends these lines building his case, adding details and layers to the metaphor, making the reader feel the weight of his concern or his sorrow. It is a carefully constructed setup for what is to come. Then, something remarkable happens. Around the 9th line, the poem makes a turn, often called a volta. This is the moment where the mood or the direction of the argument shifts. After spending 8 lines building up a problem, Shakespeare pivots to find a solution or a new perspective. If he was talking about the destructive power of time, he might suddenly introduce the idea that his poetry can make his beloved's beauty immortal. This turn is the heart of the sonnet's drama. It is where Shakespeare confronts his own doubts and answers his own questions, moving from despair to hope or from confusion to clarity. This structure allows Shakespeare to show his thought process in real time. We see him grappling with a difficult feeling and then actively working his way toward a resolution. It makes the poems feel incredibly honest and human. He is not just presenting a finished, polished thought, he is taking us on the journey of his thinking. This turn is where his confidence often shines through. He might start with a sense of anxiety or loss, but by the end of the poem he has found a reason to be certain in his love and its power to overcome any obstacle he has presented in the opening lines. This journey from problem to solution makes his devotion feel earned and deeply considered. He acknowledges the challenges, distance, aging, and the world's temptations, but he doesn't let them win. The turn in the sonnet is his way of fighting back. It is a declaration that his love is stronger than any problem he can imagine. By the time we reach the final 2 lines, the concluding couplet, his argument is complete. He has faced the darkness and found the light, leaving the reader with a powerful statement of his unwavering commitment to his wife, a commitment he has just proven through the logic of the poem itself. Sonnet 5 is a perfect example of Shakespeare's method. He uses a powerful metaphor to explore the passage of time and its effect on beauty. The poem begins by comparing the gentle progression of hours to a cruel tyrant. These hours lead beautiful summer days into the cold grip of winter. Shakespeare paints a picture of nature's decay, where summer's green leaves are gone and the world is covered in snow. This is the initial problem he presents. He sees how time destroys the beauty of the natural world, and it makes him worry about the beauty of his beloved. He's essentially asking, if even the summer cannot last, how can a person's youthful appearance survive? He builds on this idea by describing the summer as never resting, always moving toward hideous winter. The beauty of youth, like the warmth of summer, is fleeting. This part of the poem is filled with a sense of sadness and inevitability. It seems like a hopeless situation where everything beautiful is doomed to fade and be forgotten. He uses words like sap checked with frost and lusty leaves quite gone to create a vivid image of loss. This is the heart of his anxiety. His wife's beauty is precious to him, and the thought of it being erased by time is a painful one. He establishes this problem so effectively that the reader feels his concern. But then comes the brilliant turn. Shakespeare shifts from the despair of winter to the cleverness of human hands. He introduces the idea of distillation, the process of extracting the essential oils from flowers to make perfume. He says that even though winter destroys the flowers, their liquid prisoner can be kept pent in walls of glass. The flower's beautiful scent, its essence, is saved. This is the solution to his problem. While the flower's outward form is gone, its true substance, its soul, is preserved. The metaphor of perfume becomes his answer to the destructive power of time. This turn transforms the poem from a sad reflection on loss into a confident celebration of enduring substance. Shakespeare is telling his wife that while her outer beauty may one day fade like a summer flower, her inner beauty, her true essence, will not be lost. His love and perhaps his poetry will act like the glass vial, preserving her true self forever. It's a beautiful and sincere promise. He is not offering empty flattery, but a deeply thought-out argument for why his love is not based on something as temporary as physical appearance. It is a mature and devoted expression of love that sees beyond the surface. In an age when love poetry was often a game of courtly flattery, Shakespeare stood out for his raw honesty. Many poets of his time wrote about idealized, perfect women who seemed more like goddesses than real people. Their poems were often exercises in style, designed to impress patrons or other poets. Shakespeare, however, wrote with a different kind of sincerity. His sonnets feel personal and deeply felt. He was not afraid to show his own insecurities, his jealousy, or even his immaturity at times. This willingness to be vulnerable makes his expressions of love feel much more real and powerful. His devotion to his wife, Anne Hathaway, shines through in these early poems, even though she is not named. He writes as a man separated from the center of his world, using his poetry to keep their bond alive. This was not the typical subject for a rising playwright in London. Most were writing to win favor with a noble lady at court. Shakespeare, however, seems to be writing for an audience of one. His focus is on a real, established love, one that has to endure the challenges of distance and time. This devotion was unusual, setting him apart as a man who valued his personal commitments above the fashionable games of courtly love. This sincerity can sometimes come across as youthful or even a bit clumsy, but that is part of its charm. He is not always the smooth, confident master we think of. In some sonnets you can feel his anxiety and his desperate need for reassurance. Yet this very rawness is what makes his confidence, when it appears, so convincing. When he declares that his love will last forever, or that his verse will immortalize his beloved, we believe him because we have seen him grapple with the alternative. His confidence is not a hollow boast, it is a hard-won conclusion, reached after honestly facing his own fears. Ultimately, Shakespeare's sonnets offer a portrait of a love that is both passionate and steadfast. He used the tools of his trade, metaphor, structure, and beautiful language to build a monument to his devotion. He was confident not just in his skill as a poet, but in the power of his love to overcome any obstacle. Through his honest and sometimes vulnerable words, he showed a new way of writing about love, one that was grounded in real feeling and unwavering commitment. His enduring love for his wife became the bedrock upon which he built some of the most beautiful and sincere poetry ever written.